In a small village surrounded by dense forests lived a woodcarver named Elias. His hands were rough and calloused from years of shaping wood into beautiful carvings. He lived in a tiny cottage with his elderly mother, who was sick and needed medicine. Every day, Elias carved small wooden toys, spoons, and bowls. He sold them in the village market, but the money was never enough. Despite his talent, people preferred cheap, factory-made items. Each morning, before dawn, Elias would step outside his cottage. He would place his worn tools on a wooden bench and bow his head. "Creator of all things," he whispered, "you gave trees their strength and beauty. You gave me hands to shape them. I may be poor in gold, but I am rich in purpose. Guide my hands today. Help me serve others through my work." His mother would watch from the window, her frail voice calling out, "Son, your faith is stronger than oak wood. Keep believing." Elias smiled at her. "Faith without work is empty, mother, but work without faith is meaningless. I will do both." At the market, a wealthy furniture merchant named Gregorius often passed by Elias's small stall. Gregorius owned 3 shops and employed dozens of workers. He would laugh loudly. "Still carving toys, old man?" Gregorius mocked. "You could work in my factory and earn a steady wage. But no, you cling to your silly pride and your prayers." Other vendors chuckled. Some felt pity, but Elias never responded with anger. "Every creation has its time and purpose," Elias said calmly. "I trust that my work will find those who need it." Gregorius shook his head. "Dreamers stay poor. That's just the way of the world." One evening, as Elias was packing up his unsold carvings, a young girl approached. She wore a faded dress and carried a cloth bag. "Sir," she said shyly, "my little brother is very sick. He cannot walk or play. All he does is lie in bed. Could you make him something? A toy, perhaps? Something to make him smile?" Elias knelt down to her level. "Of course, child. What does he love?" "Birds," she whispered. "He watches them from the window. He says they are free and he wishes he could be like them." "Come back in 3 days," Elias said gently. "I will have something special for him." The girl's eyes filled with tears of gratitude. "But sir, we have no money." Elias smiled warmly. "Some gifts are not meant to be bought. They are meant to be given." For 3 days and nights Elias worked. He chose the finest piece of cedar wood he had been saving for years. His hands moved with love and precision. He carved a beautiful wooden bird with outstretched wings. Its feathers were so detailed they seemed real. He painted it with natural dyes, blue, gold, and white. Then he attached it to a small stand with a gentle spring so it would sway and fly when touched. Each night Elias prayed, "Let this simple gift bring joy. Let it remind this child that even in stillness there is beauty, even in hardship there is hope." On the 3rd day the girl returned. When Elias handed her the bird, she gasped. She hugged it tightly, tears streaming down her face. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you so much." She ran home, and Elias watched her go, his heart full. A week later, there was a knock on Elias's door. A well-dressed man stood outside. He introduced himself as Lord Matthias, a nobleman from the capital city. "I am looking for the craftsman who made this," he said, holding up the wooden bird. Elias nodded. "I made it, sir. Is something wrong?" Lord Matthias smiled. "Wrong? No, it is the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. My daughter saw it at the home of a sick boy we were visiting in charity. She begged me to find the artist." He continued, "I want to commission you to create pieces for the royal palace. The queen herself loves handcrafted art. I will pay you well, and I will help you open a proper workshop." Elias stood in stunned silence. His mother, listening from inside, began to cry tears of joy. I don't know what to say," Elias stammered. "Say yes," Lord Matthias replied. "Your gift should not be hidden in a village market. It should be shared with the world." In the months that followed, Elias's life changed. He opened a beautiful workshop. He trained young apprentices, teaching them not just to carve, but to carve with love and purpose. He paid them fairly. He donated part of his earnings to the sick and the poor, and every morning he still stepped outside to pray. One day, Gregorius came to visit. His own business had declined. His factory goods were cold and lifeless compared to Elias's art. "You were right," Gregorius admitted quietly. "I chased money and lost meaning. You chased meaning and found abundance." Elias placed a hand on his shoulder. "It's never late to start again, my friend. Work with purpose, serve with love. The rest will follow." Years later, Elias's workshop became famous across the land, but he never forgot the little girl, or the sick boy, or the wooden bird that changed everything. He kept that first bird in his workshop, placed on a shelf where everyone could see it. Beneath it, he carved these words: "The greatest treasures are not found in gold, but in the gifts we give from the heart." Elias learned that faith is not passive waiting, it is active trust. It is doing your best work, serving others selflessly, and believing that purpose and provision will meet. And so, the woodcarver who once had nothing became a man of great influence, not because he sought wealth, but because he sought to serve. And in serving, he found everything.